John Powell scored the Wicked movie without seeing the play, and that's good, because it allows him to score the movie his favorite way, as an audience member.
I think that was kind of my job, to be a bit of an outsider in this world.
Most people don't realize what a weird job composer is, or as Powell has referred to it, filmmaker in charge of music. He's not there to write whatever he wants, he's there to direct the music in a way that helps the narrative, which he does best by coming in after everyone else. In this case, working with composer for the musical, Stephen Schwartz, adapting his themes into cues and creating some new ones for the film. Scoring an adaptation without reading the book or watching the Broadway musical lets him breathe new life into it, which he's done plenty of times before.
Wicked is, I think, number 69 or 70 of all the films I've done so far, but it was definitely one of the hardest.
He recalls a similar story from Once Upon a Time, scoring a movie called Shrek with Harry Gregson Williams, coming into the film when the filmmakers were exhausted.
Everyone was looking ashen, everything was just like hell for them, absolutely, and they liked it. Oh, here's the film. And Harry and I were like, this is great. And everyone was like, what do you mean it's great? It's great. You've got nothing to worry about. And that's great because you come in and you sort of get to see the film as the audience will experience it. You get to experience it that way. Then what you can do is you can then remember the ride that the film is giving you, and you can try and keep that as a sort of a compass. Even when the filmmakers are, say, well, that isn't what we meant. It's like what you mean is not necessarily what sometimes is there.
He watches the full movie with no music.
No music at all. And so that helps him wrap his mind around what the movie can be without music, so he can build on that and help enhance those things.
John Powell insists on watching a movie with no temp track, which is a temporary music track placed in editing to give a sense of tone and pace that ruins a composer's fresh perspective. Because the temp track isn't what's there either.
It might not be what they meant because the music isn't bringing out the right thing yet, which is then it's my job to actually do that. But it also sometimes is they didn't realize what they'd done, and if I bring out that tone in it, suddenly it brings a whole new sort of dimension. Yeah. That's very exciting, I think, for me and sometimes for the filmmakers when we can actually see things that you didn't realize were there.
A certain amount of the audience has seen the musical many times, but it needs to feel unexpected and new. That's why he's here.
I just put the biggest, giantest version of No One Mourns the Wicked.
He used one of Schwartz's songs as a dramatic goodbye theme in the orchestra, because this is clearly goodbye, right?
I didn't know she was getting on the train, and I needed to say that. And that's how I felt. It's like, Glinda's gonna stay there, and Elphaba's gonna go off to Oz. I didn't know she was gonna get on the train, so why were the audience?
The director probably knows every take of the scene. The filmmaker in charge of music studies one in the edit, which allows him to focus on what's in this movie.
In animation, I call the stalling number. So all of that Bugs Bunny stuff that's incredibly tight to picture.
Oh, like this?
People's eyebrows and their expressions changing and timing.
Because a play's performance can change every night. This is one movie forever.
Elphaba, we have to watch her very, very carefully for when she realizes that Glinda's not going to go with her. So all of the elements I put in there were really about being so tightly attuned to those performances.
As an outsider, he's the most qualified person to give musical commentary to the story. But there may be a member of the cast with more skill in Pro Tools.
I was told, interestingly, that out of all the people, all the music editors and us and blah, 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 apparently the person who's best at it is Ariana Grande. She's a monster, apparently, on Pro Tools, on Cut Your Own Vocals, and possibly Cynthia, I believe. When we started the movie, we didn't know how to do it. And I guess we do now, but now we've got to go and do part 2, and I'm not even sure I know how to do part 2 yet, but, we'll figure it out.
Like and subscribe for more John Powell videos, including one soon on how he'll score a movie he does know the story for, the live-action How to Train Your Dragon remake. Thanks for watching.